A tiny dime could be hiding a story most people never notice. Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're uncovering 3 Roosevelt dimes that may seem ordinary but deserve a closer look. 1989 P. Roosevelt dime. 2022 P. Roosevelt dime. 2022 D. Roosevelt dime. These coins feature the familiar torch, olive branch, and oak branch reverse design and are struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition used in modern U.S. dimes. To most people, they're just spare change. But coin collectors know that certain dimes can contain rare mint errors, die varieties, and unusual characteristics that make them far more interesting than their face value. The best part? Some of the most surprising finds come from coins that look completely ordinary. Before you spend your next dime, check it carefully, because a hidden treasure could be sitting right in your pocket. Let's reveal coin number 1. Have you ever held a coin and thought absolutely nothing about it? Just a quick glance. A small silver-colored dime. 10 cents. Something so common that it doesn't even deserve attention. It passes from hand to hand. From store to pocket. From pocket to forgotten change. And then it disappears from memory completely. But sometimes, the most ordinary-looking objects are carrying the longest hidden journeys. And the 1989 P. Roosevelt dime is exactly that kind of coin. At first sight, it looks completely standard. No shine that demands attention. No strange error that stands out. No rare design variation. Just a normal United States dime. With Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait on the front. And a torch surrounded by olive and oak branches on the reverse. Simple. Clean. Familiar. Almost forgettable. And that is exactly why millions of people overlook it every single day. Because the human brain is trained to ignore what feels common. But in coin collecting, common is where the real story begins. In 1989, this dime was minted in Philadelphia, marked with a P. It entered a system that was already moving fast. Cash registers ringing. Vending machines working non-stop. People paying for daily needs without a second thought. Coins were not collectibles back then. They were tools. Just part of daily life. Millions of 1989 P dimes were produced. Millions entered circulation immediately. And millions started their invisible journeys across the United States. At that moment, this coin was not special to anyone. No collector value. No emotional attachment. No attention at all. Just a standard piece of currency designed to move quickly. But here is where the real story begins. Because a coin is not defined when it is minted. It is defined when it starts moving through time. The moment a 1989 P dime enters circulation, its identity begins to change. Slowly. Quietly. Without anyone noticing. It may pass through hundreds of hands. It may sit in pockets for weeks. It may be used in stores without being seen. It may fall into jars and stay there for years. Each path is different. Each path leaves a mark. And that is why no two 1989 P dimes look exactly the same today. Even though they started identical. Time has separated them. Collectors understand this difference instantly. They don't just look at coins. They read them like silent records of movement. The first thing they observe is Roosevelt's portrait. Is the face still sharp? Are the lines still visible? Or has circulation softened the details over time? Even the smallest difference matters. Because in numismatics, detail equals preservation. Then attention shifts to the reverse design. The torch in the center. The olive branch symbolizing peace. The oak branch representing strength. Beautiful symbols. But not immune to time. As circulation continues, the sharpness fades. High points become smooth. Edges lose definition. Original mint luster disappears. Not because the coin is damaged, but because it has lived. Now here is the important truth most people miss. The 1989 P dime is not rare because of production. It is extremely common because millions exist. But its value story is not about rarity. It is about condition survival. Because out of millions, only a small percentage remain in strong preserved condition. Not uncirculated. Not heavily worn. But sharp enough to catch collector interest. And that is where perception shifts. A dime is no longer just 10 cents. It becomes a condition-based object. Think about its journey. A purchase at a grocery store. A vending machine transaction. A tip left at a counter. A coin tossed into a drawer and forgotten. A wallet that carried it for months without notice. None of these moments are recorded. No one documents them. No one tracks them. But the coin carries evidence of all of them. Scratches are not random damage. They are movement history. Loss of shine is not decay alone. It is physical interaction over time. Softened details are not failure. They are proof that life happened around it. And that is what makes collectors slow down. Because they are not just looking at metal. They are looking at time trapped inside metal. Even though this coin is modern in historical terms, it still follows the same rule as older coins. Time affects everything equally. Metal does not stay perfect forever. Surfaces always respond to movement. And that is why condition becomes everything. Not the date. Not the mint mark alone. But how the coin survived its journey. So when you see a 1989 P Roosevelt dime again, don't rush past it. Don't assume it has no story. Don't treat it as meaningless change. Because sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coins are the ones that have traveled the longest silent journeys. And this is only the beginning of the series. Because in the next part, we will go deeper into how small variations and hidden conditions change everything collectors believe about value. Now the story moves forward in time. Not into the distant past, but into something extremely close to us. Something still moving through wallets today. Still passing through hands right now. The 2022 P Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it feels like it shouldn't even have a story yet. Because how can something so modern be part of a valuable coin journey? It looks fresh. It looks new. It looks mass-produced. And that is exactly why most people ignore it instantly. A small dime. 10 cents. Standard silver color. Familiar Roosevelt portrait. And the same torch design on the reverse. Nothing visually unique. Nothing that feels rare. Just another modern piece of currency inside a huge system. But here is the first illusion people fall into. They assume new means meaningless. They assume modern coins have no history yet. But coins don't wait for decades to begin their journey. Their story starts the moment they leave the mint. The 2022 P Roosevelt dime was produced in a world that runs on speed. Digital payments everywhere. Card swipes replacing cash. Online transactions replacing physical exchange. Yet coins still exist inside this system. Still produced. Still circulated. Still used in everyday life. Millions of these dimes were released. Directly into circulation. Straight into stores. Cash counters. Vending machines. And everyday exchanges that nobody remembers. At the mint. This coin was perfect. Sharp edges. Strong details. Bright surfaces with full mint luster. Everything clean. Everything precise. A brand new beginning. But perfection in metal is temporary. Because the moment a coin enters real life, It meets friction. Hands touch it. Coins rub against each other. Machines press it. Wallets carry it. Surfaces collide without care. And slowly, the transformation begins. Not instantly, but silently. Step by step. Collectors understand this process deeply. They don't just look at coins. They study how time interacts with them. The first detail they observe is Roosevelt's portrait. Is it still sharp? Are facial lines still defined? Or has circulation started softening the design? Even modern coins like 2022p can show early wear faster than people expect. Because circulation does not care about age. It cares about movement. Then attention shifts to the reverse design. The torch in the center. The olive branch. The oak branch. Symbols of peace and strength. Slowly reacting to physical contact. High points begin to fade first. Flat areas remain longer. But nothing stays untouched forever. And this is where the truth becomes clear. Even modern coins are not safe from time. They just haven't had enough time yet. Because condition is not about age. Condition is about exposure. A 2022p dime that stayed uncirculated. And a 2022p dime that circulated heavily. Can already look completely different. That difference is not theoretical. It is physical. Visible. Real. And that is why collectors never ignore modern coins completely. They understand something most people don't. Value doesn't suddenly appear in the future. It begins forming immediately. Now think about the journey of this coin. A grocery store transaction. A vending machine payment. A parking fee. A tip left without thought. A coin tossed into a pocket with keys and change. None of these moments feel important. But together, they shape the coin's identity. Scratches begin to appear. Shine starts to fade. Edges lose sharpness. And what once looked brand new starts becoming ordinary circulation metal. But here is the deeper reality. Even ordinary coins carry history. Not written history, but physical history. Every mark is a trace of movement. Every worn surface is evidence of interaction. Every dull area is proof of time passing through contact. And that is why collectors slow down. Because they are not chasing rarity yet. They are observing transformation. The 2022p dime represents something important in this entire story. It proves that time does not need decades to start working. It starts immediately. Quietly. Without announcement. And that leads to a bigger realization. If even modern coins are already changing, then older coins are simply further along the same path. Different years. Same system. Same rule. Circulation always wins over perfection. So when you see a 2022p Roosevelt dime again, don't dismiss it as too new to matter. Because it is already becoming part of history. One transaction at a time. One scratch at a time. One unnoticed moment at a time. And this is where the full connection forms. 1989. 1990. Different eras. But the same silent truth underneath everything. Time is always working. Even on coins we think are too ordinary to notice. And in the next part, we move deeper into what actually creates rare value inside such common coins. Where only a few examples break the rules everyone assumes are fixed. Now the story enters its most modern chapter. A coin so recent that most people think it has no history yet. No value story. No hidden importance. Just another piece of today's cash system. This is the 2022 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it feels almost invisible. Because modern coins suffer from one problem. They don't look special anymore. No old age texture. No historical patina. No antique feeling. Just clean, factory-fresh metal made for circulation. And that is exactly why people ignore it. Because the brain believes one rule. Backhand index pointing right: if it is new, it cannot be valuable. But coin collecting does not follow that rule. The 2022 D dime was minted in Denver. Inside one of the most advanced coin production systems in the world. High-speed presses. Perfect alignment technology. Strict quality control. Millions of identical pieces produced in a very short time. At the moment of minting, this coin was perfect. Sharp Roosevelt portrait. Strong torch design. Clean olive and oak branches on the reverse. Bright, reflective surface before circulation begins. A flawless start to its journey. But perfection never stays untouched for long. Because the moment a coin enters real life, its story changes immediately. A 2022 D dime does not stay in a safe environment. It enters pockets. Cash registers. Vending machines. Gas stations. Small everyday transactions that no one remembers. And each movement begins to shape it. Not dramatically, but slowly. Almost invisibly at first. Coins are physical objects. And physical objects react to friction. They collide. They rub. They stack. They slide against each other constantly. And that is where transformation begins. The first thing collectors notice is the portrait of Roosevelt. Is it still sharp? Are facial lines clearly visible? Or has early circulation already softened the detail? Even in a brand new coin like 2022 D, small differences can already appear. Because not every coin survives the same way. Then attention moves to the reverse design. The torch in the center. The olive branch symbolizing peace. The oak branch representing strength. These symbols are not just art. They are test points for condition. High points always wear first. That is the rule of metal under circulation. And even modern coins are not exempt from it. Now here is where reality becomes interesting. A 2022 D dime might exist in millions. But each one begins a different journey immediately after release. Some coins stay almost untouched. Stored. Saved. Or barely used. Others enter heavy circulation instantly. Passing through dozens of hands in a short time. Becoming worn faster than expected. So even within the same year, there is already variation. And variation is where collector attention begins. But here is the truth most people misunderstand. Modern coins are not rare. They are not designed to be rare. They are designed for daily life. That means value does not come from existence. It comes from exception. A normal 2022 D dime in circulated condition is still just 10 cents. No hidden fortune. No secret jackpot. But its importance is not zero. Because it shows something deeper about time itself. Time does not wait for coins to become old. Time starts immediately. The moment a coin enters circulation, it begins changing. And this is the part people miss completely. They think history only exists in old coins. But modern coins are already becoming history in real time. Every transaction adds invisible marks. Every machine touch adds micro-wear. Every pocket movement contributes to surface change. And none of it is recorded. No one writes it down. No one tracks it. But the coin remembers everything physically. Scratches are movement. Dullness is interaction. Loss of shine is exposure to life. And that is how a 2022 D dime slowly becomes part of the same system as older coins. Not different. Just earlier in its journey. Collectors see this clearly. They don't wait for coins to become old enough. They observe them from the beginning. Because condition differences start immediately. And this is where the full story connects. 1989 D coins. 2022 P coins. 2022 D coins. Different years. Different mint marks. Same process. Circulation always wins over perfection. Time always reshapes metal. And survival decides what remains visually interesting. So when you hold a 2022 D Roosevelt dime, don't dismiss it as meaningless. Because it is not too new. It is simply early in its story. And every coin like this is slowly building its identity. One hand at a time. One transaction at a time. One silent moment at a time. Because in the end, value is not only about rarity. It is about transformation over time. And even the newest dime is already part of that transformation.